fall. And in your mind, the clouds have been gathering. You may feel hopeless, but I'll never let you go. Fly through the stratosphere and then I'll rip and scream it from your soul. Oh, we'll watch it fall. Now your clouds are all gone. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. Today may be the last time I get to say your life's had meaning and you mattered most. The way you hold me like I am your everything has burned inside me, so we'll never be apart. Fly through the stratosphere and then I'll rip and scream it from your soul. Oh, we'll watch it fall. Now your clouds are all gone. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. Fly through the stratosphere and then I'll rip and scream it from your soul. Oh, we'll watch it fall. Now your clouds are all gone. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. You can turn my world upside down in a rush like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I would know. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it follow me when the sky starts to change. Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
My name is Legendy Vash, and welcome to the Stampede. I'm here to give you the full run of tonight's Raw on Netflix. And without further ado, the highlights of tonight's show was honestly a very good show. We had a good time because me and Walkers had an enjoyable conversation throughout the whole show. Because it started off, we have a new women's tag team champion and a clean match pin, somewhat. And then we had, did anybody ask for the bingo card of this year of wrestling matches? We get Akira Tozawa versus Gunther. Who asked for this? But was it an entertaining segment? We'll discuss about that. But we got the Yeet minivan, Jay Uso, super kick Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory still shows signs of a babyface turn. Probably. What would have happened? But how do we feel about Cody Rhodes' soul still being asked for? Seth Rollins had questions about this, and it's been the first time since they've been on the ring since last year at WrestleMania 40. And we had a beautiful work from LWO versus a new day, like Pat McAfee says. And Lyra finally defends her title in a good match, I would say. And so much to discuss for tonight's show. We had other quick fire segments with a few of the matches to bring up, so it'll be a fun show. Lastly, I really enjoyed the show. I had a great time walking. Go check out the sidecast at twitch.tv/AnimalStudio. Other than that, episode 118 of Weebs of the Ring.
With anime in their souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So, as always, allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So, grab your steel chair, yell for the table, get put through an experience unlike any other. We are brought to you by Animal We Studio, and this is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Welcome everybody to our wonderful Monday night coverage of Raw. We had a good night of the Graps, as Vash let you guys know. A few title matches, a title change, mind you. And yeah, I mean, overall, we're kind of ending things going into Elimination Chamber and hopefully streamlining and steamrolling into WrestleMania season. And yeah, we'll talk about all those builds when the time comes for it. But as always, we're going to be talking about Raw tonight on our Monday night. And I am, of course, your world champion Watkins here to help kind of ease everything in, ease you going into Netflix, especially now that Netflix is Raw and all that. But I am never alone in my endeavor, for you see, two lovely gentlemen are standing right above me in this little triangle that we have. Of course, first of all, on the right side, we have the ever positive, ever so lovely visionary legend D Vash. Vash, how you doing tonight?
How you guys doing, everyone? This is a great time to discuss Monday Night Raw because we're gonna be talking about Cody's soul. Did we feel of how the visionary of Seth freaking Rollins runs Monday Night Raw, and did he agree with the points about his role? And did he feel hurt about his soul being compromised? Cause shit, that shit sounds painful to be told that, hey man, your soul's compromised. Like, that's just fucked up.
Yeah, that was really messed up. how Cody was kind of playing upon that, but we'll talk about that later. And as always, to help us process these stories that are going on, to help us kind of make sense of the stories, the lines that are making us be invested in these characters, in these men and women that are involved in the Graps, we of course have the genius of the mat himself. Drop this box. Drop, how you doing tonight on this lovely Monday evening?
Doing pretty good. It's nice to talk about wrestling again. A lot of
That is. That it is indeed.
I would say
everybody,
that
so-
I do like to say that at least this was a better Monday Night Raw compared to last week, where last week was a very poor show compared to the show that we're enjoying both now, where I had a good time watching Raw. It also ended like at 10:40, so like a good 5-10 minutes later than what has been ending over the past couple weeks, and the storylines progressed. I'm still laughing about the Cody Soul stuff. Like who knew? Getting closer to the road to WrestleMania. Weeks later, we'll start talking about Cody's soul. Remember the time we had the People's Champ or the Tribal Chief, of the championship belt. Now we have the Cody soul being a fucking item. That's just insane.
Yeah. I mean, we had two guys fighting over a bracelet over the summer, so
That is true.
a
You're
soul,
right.
a soul. That might be a little bit more of a stake to kind of fight for and all that. But as always, people, make sure you tune in. If you're tuning in live, hit us in the live chat. We'll be reading them throughout the night as we go on through the discussions. And of course, if you're watching the VOD of this, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on everything as we progress through the show and talk about everything that's about to go on. We're going to start our night with how the night actually ended with our big tag team main event. We had the women's tag team titles on the line for, I almost said the first time in a long time, but we've actually been getting regular defenses of these titles. But we have Bianca Belair and Naomi defending their titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. They're trying to get some revenge on Jade Cargill, who was killed about 3 months ago and all that. And right now, the biggest suspects, the number one people on the most wanted list for who did all this is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And not gonna lie, folks, this was a very entertaining match, I thought. Like I was saying before we came onto the show and pressed the live button and all that, I was telling the two gentlemen here, this is what you need to do to kind of build your division up and make us feel invested. Because, we want the stories to make us feel like we enjoy the characters or don't enjoy the characters, but there's nothing like a good old-fashioned, very good match. And I thought these teams really pulled together, especially in the closing segments with like Dom coming out, running distractions, and all of the kickouts we were getting. Like a lot of people want to clown AEW for all the false finishes and all that, but like the thing
This
with
was
like false
very good.
finishes, yes, this is how you do false finishes. Because like yeah, there were some big moves, some big finishers, and some tight spots throughout, especially in the closing segments. But like with each quick kick out or like roll out of the way after a big move, or somebody interfering to like get the pinfall broken up, like I don't know, it felt good, you know. And hell, we got new tag champions now, relatively clean, mind you. Like yeah, the referee was distracted and Raquel did hit Naomi when she wasn't legal and all that, but still relatively clean, all things considering. And yeah, new tag champions in Liv and Raquel. Vash, you and I watched this match. We were enjoying ourselves throughout it. So what do you think of the match, and I guess the story progressing moving forward with this whole who attacked Jade Cargill thing?
I love how throughout the whole match we were talking, saying that Jay's gonna show up. Jay's gonna show up. She might show up here. She might show up here.
Mhm.
And we kept bringing it up like, yo, my heart's beating fast. Like it's getting unexpected to the point like we don't know if they are gonna win, if Liv Raquel's gonna win clean, or if Jay's gonna come out, and how would the events turn out to be. So it was
Mhm.
very enjoyable to the extent where like when pro wrestling, when WWE, who is like Michael Cole said, it's a storytelling, and when you feel that it's becoming unexpected, that becomes the fun of it. And I just felt like I was a kid again, just waiting like to see what are we about to get.
Mhm.
And to have Liv and Raquel win, congrats to them. But now it's like, okay, are you guys gonna be able to do what Naomi and Bianca did, doing every match, even on NXT, Raw, and SmackDown is gonna
Mhm.
also have Liv and Raquel also, talk to Tiffany, talk to all the wrestlers that, build them up as well. Because I know they are both hard workers. So I'm glad. Hopefully, this is a better run since last time. Because last time Raquel had to dip because of her health issues. So hopefully they have a better run this time and can actually succeed in this. And hopefully it's just a good, entertaining run. Honestly.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see. Well, only time will tell with all that. But Drop, how'd you feel about all this, especially because I think mainly the reason I was kind of pushing the whole Jade thing, is because I did see some reports of her like being done in the performance center, and how her return is imminent. And with this being the main event, I was thinking, okay, we're more than likely getting the title change. Jade might be coming back because of that report I saw. But Drop, what did you think of all this going forward, especially with like the story of who attacked Jade Cargill and all that?
I like how it was intertwined with the match tonight. I mean, that's a start.
Hmm.
That's something I really like. I mean, I thought this was like you said earlier, this is the kind of matches we need to be getting with the women's tag titles. So that's
Hmm.
something I could really appreciate. It was a great match. I felt like with the ladies tonight in general, when it comes to this match, even the IC match, they did a great job. This is something that has been an ongoing topic of discussion lately, at least when it comes to the main
Hmm.
roster, when it comes to like, how the women are being presented and everything. And I do like how Lyra, Dakota, Bianca, Naomi, Liv, and Raquel were presented tonight. So that's something I really do appreciate. And
Hmm.
I also like how we have new champions. I have no issues with this at all. It makes the perfect
Yeah.
sense, especially if you want to further develop this whole story with Jade, because I feel like one of the things that you really need to do is you need to get the tag titles off of them in order to really develop it further to see exactly where it goes. And I'm glad that they decided to make that decision. And this also falls in line with those reports that we saw about Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez being inserted into the tag team scene again. So that definitely seems to be the direction for them heading into Mania. Probably gives us a good
Hmm.
idea that more than likely Liv's not going to be winning the chamber, which didn't really make sense
Yeah.
to begin with. And Another thing I do like is how they showed like a little video package with like the whole story tonight. Which there was a part of me thinking we're gonna get the reveal tonight, but I'm also glad they didn't, because you got to give them that good moment towards the end where they're celebrating and stuff. And the way that the match was like being showcased, it really didn't make any sense to really insert Jade there out of nowhere. Like there's always like the perfect time to really do something like that. And I feel like more than likely you'll probably get that at the Elimination Chamber, because if you think about it like that, that's one of the biggest stories currently when it comes to the women's division on the main roster. And usually if you want to capitalize on that even further, it's usually done at a PLE. Whenever you get that angle of like the next chapter of, okay, what's going to be happen next with so-and-so, it usually happens at a PLE. Like imagine that whole turn with Finn and Damian Priest happening on like a random episode of Raw. It wouldn't hit as hard as it did last year during that SummerSlam. So I like how everything's structured here. I like that Bianca is in the singles division again, which is something that she's been absent from for quite some time. So I'm really glad about that. And I also got to give some credit for Naomi, because Naomi has been doing pretty good ever since she aligned with Bianca when it came to them being together as the big three, and also just them being together with the women's tag titles. I definitely feel like she's getting what she deserves now when it comes to like what we talked about prior when she came back, that little slow start. I'm glad that she's finally finding her way and she's showcasing what she's able to do, which I saw a lot of positive comments about Bianca and Naomi tonight. Basically like all four of the girls, but I thought this was a really good way to end Monday Night Raw. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think another thing to note too, at least with like a storytelling perspective, and I had mentioned this too during the sidecast. When's the last time Bianca was even pinned, whether it was a tag match or a singles match? Like, it was Liv Morgan at last year's Elimination Chamber, right?
The last time she got pinned was last month on SmackDown when they had like that.
Okay, so she was
Yeah, she got pinned by like a roll up though.
Okay, yeah, so it was just one of those tricky things, because like that's the thing, like they've been really good with like kind of protecting Bianca that way, where like she's not one to really take a fall unless it, again, it's like in a surprise way like that. And even then that's very few and far between. So like her booking has been very strong for her character and all that stuff. And like, her going into a singles run now, I feel like we may have gotten a little, like, I don't want to say tease, but like there might be just a little seedling of maybe her possibly turning on Naomi during the Chamber, because again, like she didn't take the fall, it was Naomi. And
she was angry. Girl did show like a pissed off reaction, like again.
So it's like, she keeps being like, you could tell the whole story of like, okay, these people keep dragging her down from being the best, or the strongest, the fastest, and all that. Like these people keep dragging her down to the point where, okay, you know what, I never needed you at all. So we could really play upon that story.
You see that report that came out? Both of them talking about potential heel runs.
Yeah,
we were talking about that too.
Yeah, because one of the things that Bianca did mention is that when it happens, it's going to be something big.
Also, I do want to say that on the website of WWE, they already have Raquel and Liv Morgan as champion. Not in your render, they use the old render, but they already have them as champions.
Here's one thing we need to do heading into 2025 and beyond. We need to like start getting consistent with graphic updates, because if you look at Bayley has the same one when she was heel.
Yeah, we need to update some of that. Just get them in the back. Take some pictures.
Yeah, that's
I know y'all are back there with your photographers. Just do it.
Yeah, that's like us using the same renders of Rhea or whoever on our thumbnails all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta switch it up every once in a while.
Yeah, you got to be different. You got to, update things. You can't just be using the same MacBook Air for about 5 years expecting different results. Oh wait, I just kind of threw shade at myself. Oops. Anyways, but yeah, I think this is a great way to kind of revitalize the women's tag team division as well. And I think it might have been I forgot which one of you guys said it because my short-term memory can kind of be shit sometimes. But yeah, I kind of hope they end up going to like NXT and all that and defending there because again, like that division is very strong, and they should get some time to kind of showcase their talents as well. I mean, hell, you got a couple groups down there too in what is like you got the Metaphor girls and all that. You got what are they called? You got Chemical X. You got
Zarya
what is it? Fatal Attraction.
Guys, you got Zarya and Sol Ruka too.
Yeah, so like you got these teams, these groups, and all that. So like, they capitalize on that because now that Liv and Raquel have the titles, I mean, hell, there would be. You just mentioned Zarya and Sol Ruka. That's a great team to kind of take it off of them. Like, imagine Zarya just decimating Raquel Rodriguez, like showing off her power and ferocity against the sometimes wall of Raquel Rodriguez and all that. Yeah, hopefully this is a good shot in the arm too, and I mean this isn't the only great match we've had with the women's tag team titles in the past couple months or all that. I mean, again, the Meta Girls put up a good fight.
Yeah.
There was another defense before then that I'm just blanking on right now. That was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, and again, like this match was really good. It was a great way to end the night, and I mean, even Dom's involvement, I was just like, all right, cool, great. You're still getting involved in all that, and this again, talking about stories, ties in very well with the whole Judgment Day thing, whether they're going to get a new member or not, or because there was a big argument between Finn and Dom backstage. And they basically were just like, we're going to handle our business. You guys handle yours. So it's going to add more tension to the Judgment Day and that eventual breakup, or at least Finn leaving the group.
Yeah, which I feel like is probably for the best.
Oh, 100 times. I mean, he's literally wearing a 10-year anniversary shirt for his time in WWE. Like, I have a feeling they're going to have some big things planned for Finn. And especially after tonight, with his little stare down with Braun, I think even if he's gonna lose that match with Braun Breaker, he's still really good talent that'll make people look amazing.
Yeah.
Oh man. That is not a Spider by Pikachu. I don't think so, but I'll check it later. It might just be Spider-Man. We'll see. We will see later on, Moose. But I mean, any other comments we have on the main event and like the women's tag titles and just any other stories that might be branching off through all this?
I just personally want to make sure that they keep this momentum up, like beyond this tag match, like keep giving, some story that makes sense for the division. Doesn't have to be anything like main event level, at least something that falls in the line of what they're trying to do with the titles. And also to just, continue to give us great matches like this. I mean, Liv Morgan was probably the breakout star last year, I would probably have to say, for the women. I mean, you compare her to where she was with Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan all those years ago. She's a completely different person.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they just keep that momentum when it comes to, delivering these great matches. I mean, you got Katana Chance and Kaden Carter on SmackDown. Maybe you can give them an opportunity, even if they're not going to win. You could just hopefully we get like more conversations like this on the show where we could be like, this is what we need to do.
Yeah. And also just a shout out, you mentioned Liv being MVP from like last year or whatever. I mean, shout out to her MVP for this match. Like she took a lot of bumps.
Yeah.
She took a lot of
Yeah.
big offense that she was able to kick out of or roll out of the ring for him, like she was on her A game tonight. Like I didn't notice anything that was really like too big of a misstep from her. So yeah, she did really good tonight. But we're gonna transition now because like from one division that's doing pretty good to another one that is pretty good, but also could use maybe something a little more deeper than what we're doing. We're gonna talk about our world heavyweight title picture. We're gonna have Gunther versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania this year, and tonight Gunther was out to send a message to all those sports entertainment people out there. Because when he entered the arena tonight, he noticed that, oh, look at this. It's Alpha Academy. They're still a thing. Oh, they're working on a TikTok dance instead of working on their wrestling craft. Huh. Hey, Adam Pearce, can I have a match tonight with Akira Tozawa? Okay, thanks, bye. Yeah, this glorified squash match.
You love this match, right? It was your favorite match of the night, right?
Look, here's the thing. I get what they're trying to do with like the whole story of like Gunther trying to downplay Jey, trying to be like, oh, the mat is sacred kind of aspect of it. Like, I get that. I understand that. It just feels like they're really just beating you over the head with how Jay's gonna win at WrestleMania, to the point where part of me really kind of hopes that they're doing that in order to just kind of pull the rug under everybody and have Gunther win. But like, I kind of doubt that's gonna happen just because of just popularity and all that stuff, and rewarding people for their hard work and all that stuff. Like, and I get that part of it, but it's just like they are just hammering it. And I mean, you even have Grayson Waller later on, like going up to Jey Uso, just repeating. And I think that's what's just getting at me right now. And because like we haven't even, like we still have one other event before WrestleMania, and we're already repeating just beats of what we've said before, or like what they've said before about like how, oh, Jay's just catchphrase guy, and people don't think he's gonna pull it off and all that stuff. It's like, how many times are you guys gonna say this? And like just that, like how many times are you guys just gonna say this in the next few weeks, in the next like month or so of this build? Like this was just my worry with him going against Gunther. It's just like it's so one note with the story with it that it just makes me not even want to care about it, to the point where it's just like, all right, let's just get to the match so Jay can just be crowned world heavyweight champion now. Like, and I don't care if I am the only one in the world that says that. It's just how I feel. I'm being honest here. I'm not, at this point in time, I'm still not enjoying the build, because it's just, it's one thing to be predictable, but it's another thing to just like bash my head in with the predictability. But Drop, I want to start with you with this one, because I'm really curious how you feel about just like this build so far and just what we got tonight and all that. Because like, again, I get what they're doing. It's just I'm just not a fan of it.
I mean, it was just a squash match. Not really much to really say about that. It doesn't really affect me in any way personally, because I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to have that whole thing of like, I mean, basically what the whole storyline is in like a nutshell as of this moment, because they still got a lot of time. They got like 8 weeks. I'm not gonna really get too worried about it. I feel like I'm hoping post Chamber we really start kicking things into gear, because at least when you got two of the other main title programs out of the way, you can start fleshing out other things. But like, I pretty much what I'm seeing right now is like, it seems like they're leaning into a lot of the things that a lot of people are saying on the IWC, not specifically stuff that we're saying, but basically a lot of the stuff that you typically see. Like, I was even reading some stupid comments I saw on Twitter before we even started the show, but you got like a lot of people calling Jay like a yeet merchant. He can only do a couple moves. He can only do this and that, which they've made pretty apparent on the show. Then Grayson Waller pretty much breaks the fourth wall all the time when it comes to a lot of the things that you normally see online, which only makes me think in my head if BJ Ray and him get paired together. Holy fucking shit, that's gonna be quite the program.
Yeah.
But because that guy's a fucking meme. If you guys seen LFG,
Oh yeah.
but I feel like it's just one of those situations, really, where they're like trying to call out a lot of the criticism revolving around Jey Uso, because even though I see Jay probably breaking out a lot more, because I feel like once you get this match, because I'm not gonna come out and say Gunther gives you bad matches, because he doesn't. If anything, Gunther's the kind of guy that probably would give you your best match, especially if it's on a setting like that. And I feel like when they have that match, you'll probably see things out of Jay you normally don't see. Like we talked about before, Jay doing a poison Rana. When the fuck does he ever do that shit?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like Gunther will probably help really showcase what Jay is, and then hopefully following that Mania program, he could really showcase everything beyond that point, because I still believe this was the right decision at WrestleMania, at Royal Rumble, when it comes to him winning it. I'm not against that at all, because I've said before that they never strike when the iron's hot. Like, look how long it took him to really put LA Knight in a program when he was like white hot. And then he eventually got that match at Roman Reigns. Like, it took him quite some time to really get there. With Jay, they gave him the Rumble. They could have done that with LA Knight, or gave him a big moment to really get in a program like that. But when you ever see stuff like that, they fucked up at Bryan. Bryan could have had the 2014 Rumble, I believe. I think that's what it was. But it's like, I'm just hoping, like, beyond this, with like all the memes and everything, I'm just hoping we get to a level where things just make a little more sense outside of this. Like, I kind of want to just see both of them going into the ring, because we see stuff with like Cody and Seth that we'll talk about in a little bit, but we saw with Cody and Rock outside of the confusing promo that we saw.
I hear him.
Oh, there we go.
I just want to see them in the ring mainly. That's it. I want to see them like cut promos and stuff, because even though that shit with The Rock was like confusing, I get what the whole idea was, because Rock was junk in that promo, just to point it out, guys that are watching. But I just want to see them more in the ring, like, because I feel like promo work, maybe we can like start doing that a little bit more, having both of them in the ring, having Jay cut more promos, because Jay's a good promo. He doesn't just say like a few fucking words. He can talk. Just we need more promos with this. I get Gunther's trying to clown him, calling him a fucking sports entertainer, because that's in his character. But still, you gotta get more segments with them together.
Yeah, and that's like just give us something
Cody.
more. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other freaking thing. You have your other world champion from the other show coming onto Raw to address something that happened on SmackDown on the other show. It's like, you have a world champion on your product. You have a world champion on your show. Use that world champion. You know, it's just like the freaking Raw premiere again, where it's just like, where's Gunther? He's technically the show's top guy. Oh, no, he's not here. We have the company's top guy in Cody Rhodes. Like, oh my god, it just goes back into that whole thing about having two world champions. One's obviously always going to be the lower rung of it all, but that's besides the point. That just it bothers me. It just bothers me, because like we keep going down that road no matter how many times we want to escape it. You know, it happened with the world heavyweight title when we got it back in like 02, 05, whatever. Like, at least back then it felt bigger. Yeah. But
I feel like ever since, I felt like when Seth had it, it felt like where it needed to be.
Yeah,
Damian Priest, was it was his first world title run. I'm not really like that. It was good for what
it
it
still felt
was.
important.
Yeah, it still felt
Yeah.
important. It put him in a way where he was able to showcase that what he can be with outside of the criticism people are giving him. Gunther, I was just expecting a little bit more, only because of what came off of the IC title reign.
Yep. But like ever since they ended the thing with him, like, because like that's the thing, like him questioning himself with Priest, that was some good stuff. I know I was a little wary with it, but I was still on board with it. I was still intrigued enough to be like, okay, well, where are we going with this? But
Yeah,
ever since that kind of died down, like, and that's been ever since December, ever since that triple threat with
yeah,
Priest and Finn. Like, ever since that match happened, the world heavyweight title has felt almost nothing, like nothing at
yeah.
all. Because he was barely on the show then, and then he was barely defending it until Jay came around for his next defense or next shot at it. And I mean, then Mania came by, and he was barely around for that. Not Mania, sorry, Royal Rumble. But it just bothers me a little bit. So we'll keep. I'm gonna try to keep an open mind because, like, again, I get what they're trying to do with everything. I want a little bit more substance, and hopefully we get that after Elimination Chamber. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, what more do you add to it that you already haven't told? you know, like that was my issue with Jay. That was my main issue with Jay picking Gunther.
Yeah.
But
I'm kind of happy he did because I really like this stuff with Cody right now.
yeah, like the stuff with Cody right now is also intriguing too. Like,
Give me your
Probably-
soul.
Probably a lot
Yeah.
more intriguing.
well, again, like, freaking your other world champion is getting like knocked down many pegs, and for
I don't
what
know.
reason? Who did Gunther? Who
Who did he piss off?
hurt? Who did Gunther hurt? Who did he piss off in the
Yeah.
back? Like,
Oh.
to have this kind of treatment,
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
it's just
all I'm gonna say is because the match happened.
yeah.
The thing I enjoyed the most was the super kick with Grayson Waller and our boy Austin Theory showing a bit of a babyface side. He's doing a little yeet because he was sparred the moment,
Oh.
and Grayson Waller was a big fan. And then we keep showing the baby signs of a bit of the baby face for Austin Theory. So that to me is the most enjoyable. I don't want to add too much more because as you guys saw. For Watkins, it really grinds his gears that our World Heavyweight Championship Gunther is being useless. So just be aware of that, chat.
Yeah, it's just I just want more from it. That's all. And it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard.
Another main issue is they have the wrong people on the wrong show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they really should have switched Cody and Gunther.
They should have.
Should have.
Yeah.
But
I thought they were.
That's just a starter.
I honestly
You
feel
know.
like he's going to be on a Raw like post draft. Cody, I feel like he is.
Yeah. I mean, he'll have to be there probably Raw after Mania. Like,
Yeah, especially a Punk
whether
potentially
he
wins out.
keeps the title or not.
Yeah.
But well, all the yeeting aside, let's actually transition to Cody because again he had to stop by Monday Night Raw to address The Rock and what happened there because hey, we can't just do that on a 3-hour SmackDown. We got to do that on the 2.5-hour Raw. Yeah, great, awesome, but it at least led to something good. Like it still led to something good.
Yeah, I
So
liked it.
again, Cody comes out there to address the stuff with The Rock, but Seth comes out to basically kind of call him out on his shit. And I mean, again, I'm kind of on Seth's side, where I mean, he's trying to tell Cody that trying to tell him not to sell out, not to pull what Seth did back in the day and all that. And I mean, Cody luckily he claps back saying, part of you kind of sounds jealous in a way, but nobody's gonna bet on you, at least up high like that, because you kind of already sold yourself out.
Yeah, I'm
you're
glad
kind
that
of
was
being.
brought up.
I am too. Like, it's just like, yeah, you did something very similar. You stabbed people in the back as well. And I mean, again, Seth acknowledged it.
Yep.
He said, yeah, that was kind of stupid in the past, but
Yeah.
in a way, it's brought him to where he is now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want Cody to hate him. And I'm not gonna lie, when he said that line of do not make me hate you, it gave me similar vibes. Now, I want y'all to hear me out on this one. It gave me similar vibes to Magneto from X-Men 97. The moment where like they were at the UN and like those I'm just gonna say terrorists were attacking and all that, and then Storm gets shot with that gun, and she loses her powers, and Magneto starts freaking out, and like he brings them all the way up to the like stratosphere, and just like he gives this awesome speech. Like if you guys haven't, first of all, if you guys haven't watched X-Men 97 yet, highly recommend go watching it. But also, just like this awesome speech he gives about like how he's taken over the X-Men. He's trying to be a better person, and literally he's using his power to hold these people in the stratosphere. Like if he lets his power go, they are falling to their deaths. And literally he's up there giving this speech saying how much of a good person he's trying to be, and he ends the speech with, "Do not let me let you down." And it has like all this double meanings and all that stuff with it, but like with Seth saying "do not make me hate you," it gave me similar vibes, because it's like, yeah, don't make me hate what I tried to help you do, what I tried to stop, and all that stuff. Because like he didn't even mention the whole stuff. He barely mentioned the stuff with Roman and all that.
Yeah.
It's mainly just the stuff with The Rock. Like, okay, do not side yourself with this thing. Do not try to be a part of that system or that person, because I really I do like you. Like, yeah, I may have attacked you after you had to go away for surgery, but I mean, again, I kind of regret some of my decisions and all that, but I'm trying to be a better person. Just don't make me hate you, because it will make him go down that dark path again. That path where like he tried to take out Mysterio's eye and all that shit. Like that's the kind of Seth Rollins that he doesn't want to be again.
Yeah.
Like he wants to be this visionary person. He wants to be what he is right now, this Seth freaking Rollins and all that. Like, and yeah, say what you want about like the whole dancing shtick and all that, but there's a point to it. It's this cockiness he has. Like Vash during our sidecast asked me, okay, who in WWE would you consider a Wukong archetype character? I mentioned Seth Rollins in a way because it's that cockiness of it. It's just like he knows he's good. And that's why he does that dancing shtick. That's why he does all of that, because he knows that no matter what, when that bell rings, nobody can touch him.
Yeah, he said it.
Or some people can and all that. But I said my piece a little bit. I want to hear from you guys. Vash, I had Drop started us off with the other segment. I want you to start us off with this segment. What do you think of this whole stuff that was said between Cody and Seth? And just like the story moving forward, do you believe that Seth could win the Elimination Chamber then?
One, I believe I wasn't here this past Friday for our SmackDown coverage, so I didn't really give crazy thoughts of your soul being taken Cody Rhodes from The Rock. So I love how Seth was the one that interrupted him.
You were there.
Because I was here?
Yeah.
Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, then I was here. Either way, I'm gonna give the thoughts again, because one thing that I like that Seth freaking Rollins brought up is because originally he was promoted to be in the segment with Logan Paul and CM Punk. Me and Walkers were watching it and was a bit confused. With like, hey, what's going on here? We were waiting for Seth to come out, but he never did. And we're happy that Seth came out during this segment, because he should feel some type of way with Cody working, or could be working, with The Rock, because they had issues a year ago today. I love the storytelling that even Seth brought up, saying that, hey, we have never been in the ring, us two, in almost a year since WrestleMania. Love that Cody brought up the past of the Authority, the Shield, and then ending off with a compliment to Seth freaking Rollins, saying that, and at one point last year, you was my Shield for me to get this. So I really love all that, and it made it really impactful. But the one thing I would say that Watkins asked me a good question. Do I think that Seth could win for this? I still do not think so. But now with his motivation sounding that he doesn't want to hate Cody Rhodes, but he wants to still fight him at a even playing field, it's now his stock went from a 5% to maybe now he could be that 25% or that 20% because it is or I think 18%, whatever it is. I don't know the Steiner's math right now to do. So it's pretty interesting to now Seth will solve the motivation for him in his character. So I really love that for the segment. But Drop, you was giving some commentary about some of the thoughts we were saying, so talk to us.
Yeah, so this was probably one of my favorite segments of the night because I always enjoy seeing Cody and Seth together in the ring, especially last year when it came to their build to WrestleMania, when it took them a little bit to really consider working with one another until they finally got on track. So I like how Seth came out in this segment because it made the most sense if you think about it, really, especially if you look at the position that Cody's in, because Cody's in a similar position that Austin was all those years ago with Vince, and then The Rock with Vince, and then Seth Rollins with the Authority. Even you could even throw Randy Orton in there because he was actually intertwined in that story as well. So it's like there was a lot of. So I like how he was inserted in here because, there's somebody that's actually been down that path that actually that were actually a sellout, decided to align themselves with a higher power in order to achieve greatness. And what other person that's on Monday Night Raw that can relate to that if it's not Seth Rollins? So I like how he came out there. I like how Cody brought it up. I like how Seth acknowledges it and he says that, he regrets the decisions he makes and everything like that, because it just shows the kind of relationship that they have now when it comes to just their relationship developing overall. So I like that whole connection between the both of them. And
Yeah.
I don't think Seth's winning the Chamber because I still feel like it's still in the cards of him and Roman. That's how I feel like it's personally going to go down. But I still like how that was brought up between the both of them because I feel like that's needed. I don't think Cody's turning because it really doesn't make any sense. Because it just makes it more intriguing if you just tell The Rock no and then you see what happens next. Because I like seeing Cody struggle like he did last year. So imagine he says no. Imagine what the fuck Rock's gonna do now. Because it's just hard for me to see that whole angle play out this weekend. With Cody saying no, getting beat up, there has to be something beyond that. Like there's a part of me expecting, just like with the women's Chamber, I'm expecting Jade to get involved, some shenanigans that possibly prevent Bianca or Naomi to advance, or even both. You don't really know, but probably one or the other. But I'm expecting something happening where you got Cody saying no, and then the winner of the Chamber possibly aligns at Rock or something. Maybe they want to save that for Mania. I don't know. But I'm expecting, some big events happening here. And the whole thing of, Cody and Rock, the one thing I did want to mention on Friday is I felt like if Rock wasn't drinking any of that tequila or anything, you probably would have got the message out a little bit better. But it was just pretty much because I know there's still some people confused about what it means. It's just one of those angles that you've seen play out over the years where it's like you got this really popular guy. I think when they did it with Austin, that was around the time when The Rock was going to film a movie or some shit, so he was going to be gone for a bit. And I do remember around that time, it's just one of those things that's the most unpredictable ends up happening. So that's why, I'll dive into it once we get to our next segment. A couple of things that Punk said today kind of could have possibly gave us a couple clues or something what could possibly happen with that. But I really enjoyed this segment personally. I'm glad he came on Raw talked a little bit about it. Doesn't have to be anything like super descriptive or anything, but I'm glad you had that interaction between him and Seth because that's needed. Definitely needed.
Yeah. I mean, it was needed like back when I mean, I don't want to say it was like that we needed it, but like it was needed back when he teamed with Roman back in October for Bad Blood. Like as soon as that team up started happening in my mind, I'm like, okay, I need to hear from Seth about all this shit. Cause Seth literally like put his body on the line for Cody.
Yeah.
Like when Cody tells him you were my shield, yeah, he literally was. Like he literally got into the ring as a distraction, knowing damn well Roman was going to hit him with that chair. Like Seth knew that was going to happen. Like he wasn't going to be able to do much, you know, because he was in the ring, battered and bruised. But all he needed to do was be in that ring with Roman with that chair, and exactly what happened and all that. So I'm just glad we played upon it. This could be really good stuff down the line too, because one thing I did say during our sidecast is Raw did a really good job with two of the men that are going to be in the chamber, giving them more of a reason that they could win it, you know, and kind of making you feel like, okay, like, because I'm not gonna lie, and I don't mean to talk for everybody here, but I can almost say, like, if Seth did end up winning the chamber, I don't think any of us would be upset with that, and especially after tonight, or at least like super upset with it. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't mind a WrestleMania match with Seth and Cody, but for this year, I'll say that's the one I'm least excited for. If you ask me, out of, well, let's say Logan versus Cody, no, either as well. Right. But like Logan's all on the bottom. Seth maybe is all on the bottom. Then it becomes Drew and then CM Punk and other characters. But Seth is right there, right above Logan. But we could dive much deeper on Thursday when it comes to that conversation about it.
Yeah. But hey, I'll just say this. There's more depth with Seth versus Cody than there is Jay versus Gunther. But anyways, hey, we had another segment that opened up the night with Punk and Logan Paul. Logan Paul wanted to start the night off being like, "Oh, we're in Cincinnati. I hate Cincinnati because I'm a big old asshole. I don't like you, Logan Paul. I'm not gonna be nice to you. I don't care, whatever, fight me, whatever." Anyways, Logan Paul starts the night off, and he's putting down Cincinnati, all that stuff. But of course, out comes CM Punk to kind of run him down. I did like this segment because these two haven't really interacted too much, except for like a few strays that CM Punk had thrown Logan Paul's way. I do like, though, how Logan Paul, he made a comment just like, I had to go through 3 doorknobs and John Cena in order to win. And then CM Punk comes out, and I'm like, okay, wait, is CM Punk part of the doorknobs, or did you just like forget somebody? Like the math ain't mathin'. We had mentioned Scott Steiner earlier. Do we need to get him out here to kind of tutor you in some math and all that? But yeah, I like this segment, especially how it ended with Logan Paul just giving a quick little smack to Punk's face, and Punk not really gunning for him right then. Just like, okay, you know what? All right, you got your thing in. That's cute and all that, but just know, Saturday you're gonna be locked in a cage with me, and there's gonna be no escape. There's gonna be nowhere to run. I will show you why I am the best in the world. But Drop, you said this was a really good segment for you, playing upon a bunch of stuff. Talk to us. What did you think of everything?
So I liked how we had a segment between the both of them, because we haven't really seen like a full-on segment between CM Punk and Logan Paul besides like a few words that they shared like a little while ago. So I liked seeing them in the ring together. I don't know if it's just me, but it's like I like Logan Paul. I don't have any issues with him when it comes to him as an in-ring performer and everything.
Oh yeah,
but it's like I don't know if it's that. You guys ever notice like when he cuts promos, he like spaces out too much?
Yeah, there have been
Yeah.
some times
Or
I've
it's-
noticed. Okay, yeah,
It's like it's almost like one of those things where it's like you're hearing him cut a promo, and this is no disrespect to him because he
Mhm.
has gotten a lot of heat from the things that he says, which is good as a heel. But it's one of those things you mentioned earlier about the doorknobs thing. So I'm like, where are we going with this? Because I obviously he's
yeah,
not including him in this, but he only mentioned like 4 other people.
yeah.
So where
And
did Damian
it kind
Damian Priest thrown in there? Like what's going on?
yeah. Well, actually, funny you mentioned that. I was telling Vash this during our sidecast. I was getting the notes together for grappling with the week on Thursday because we'll be doing part of our predictions then as well.
Yeah.
And I was writing down, I was typing down the participants of each match and all that, and I got to the men's one. And for the life of me, for like a minute or two, I couldn't remember all of the ones for the men's. I was like, okay, I have Punk in here, I have Paul in here, I have Cena in here, I have Drew, I have Seth. Who the hell is the 6th person? Like, for the life of me, I couldn't remember. And I'm like, oh wait, that's right, it's Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in this match. Like, and that kind of sucks to like kind of say that
Yeah.
and kind of think that, but at the same time, he's kind of the one forgettable one in the chamber,
Yeah.
like it just, I mean, that just is what it is. So it's just funny how you mentioned that though.
Yeah, but I do like how he had this time to talk with Punk within this segment itself, and I like how Punk pretty much called him out the way he is, because like Punk's not wrong, because you do see a lot of these people come into the company where they had this whole stick and it only runs for so long and then they're away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't even begin to tell you how many people I saw, like even before this time, like when I was growing up watching wrestling, where you had people cut promos like this all the time and say the same shit all the time. Where are they now? So when he's like, he's a dime a dozen, there's no substance, whatever he's saying, I mean, is he wrong? And Punk's been in the game for so long, like even before WWE,
Yeah.
he was a part of Ring of Honor, and he came from there to get to WWE, and he's been around a lot of people. Same with the other guys that's a part of the match. So it's like I can't really disagree with him here when it comes to what he was saying. But it was just interesting to see these two together, because I feel like this is definitely a test for Logan Paul. Because I don't
Mhm.
think I'm crazy when I say this, but you're in the ring with one of the best mic workers in the business. So I feel like
Yeah.
that's truly a test to show if you could really hang with somebody like that. Like even if
And
he
with the
ever,
best, yep.
like you also got to like consider like other people that he hasn't had any time in the ring with before. Like he hasn't even talked with Cena yet. That's another one you could throw in there where it's like one of the best guys on the mic when it comes to the business too. So I felt like this was like truly like, a big test for Logan on here. I don't know what it was, but it's like I thought Punk was gonna say something about his theme song within this match itself,
Oh,
because I
I'm
still
hoping so.
remember.
I was hoping so.
Yeah, because I still remember like when he came out, Punk's like, "What the fuck is this?" Which again, what are we doing with this whole Def Rebel thing? Like that's another story for
Yeah.
another time. But still, but I thought he was gonna say something like that because he was like so out of it, like when he came out that first time. But one of the things I was bringing up before that I liked what Punk said is like it's almost like he's giving us a couple clues where he's like, that
Mhm.
main event's meant for me. I'm meant to win the chainer. He said, I'm meant to do this. I'm meant to do that. Like that almost gives us a little clue if he potentially ends up being that corporate Punk that some people are theorizing within the community that could possibly
Yeah.
end up happening. And the only reason why I would say it would be interesting is because it's just one of those unexpected things. Like, when did you guys ever expect to see Stone Cold align with Vince, knowing the kind of person that Stone Cold was and what he fought for, and he just
Yeah.
pretty much terrified Vince for his like fucking life of all the shit that he did, bringing him into the hospital, beating the shit out of him, stunning his whole entire family, doing all of this ruthless shit. When did you ever mention watching WrestleMania 17 where they shook hands? You got that heel Stone Cold coming out to Disturbed, I believe. I think he had like a new theme around the time.
think so, yeah.
But it's like it's just one of those things that would catch you off guard, and it's like kind of hard. You can't really disagree with it because it's like this is something that he's been fighting for years. I mean, you're going on like a decade plus now that he's been fighting for years, and then you look at the history that him and Rock had. So I'm just looking at what he's saying. Does it have to happen? No, but it's just the idea of it is pretty interesting. I mean, he's my personal pick, but I'll wait to see how things play out. But I did like this little segment between the both of them. Like, wasn't anything crazy, but it was nice to see both of them, going back and forth here.
Yep. What about you, Vash? What did you think of this segment? Because this started our night off tonight.
Yeah.
And started it off pretty well too.
I would say this was very good. Honestly, better than expected. Drops said it perfectly. That if the company has trust in Logan Paul to stand with the very best that is good in mic work, such as CM Punk, I feel like as much as chat me and Wonkas are not huge fans of Logan Paul, but the funniest thing that Logan Paul said during the segment was like, he said, "I've never made a mistake," and then the first thing online I see is the image of him in Japan. If y'all know, you know.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So that was very funny when he said that, "I've never made a mistake." I'm like, "You sure, sir?" Twitter will have no hesitation to just prove you wrong, and they did. So, and with CM Punk, I agree with Drop. I support everything he said because CM Punk is the type of person that will tell stories within his story of the promo work. So everything has a meaning. Does it actually have a meaning? Would it mean something by the time Saturday 11 p.m. hits? Possibly. Only time will tell. So without repeating myself of what Drop said, I agree everything. And at the moment, we just have to see what Friday brings to us, because now we need Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest promo work and how their reasoning of why they should win.
Yeah. And hopefully, I don't know how tight the turnaround time will be for Cena to be there and all that, but wouldn't mind if he was there on Friday.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Like, he's supposed to be there Saturday anyway, so if he's there Friday, great. Get on the mic and talk to Priest and Drew. Oh, especially him and Drew going back and forth. That would be...
God.
He did say, like, during that promo he cut at Royal Rumble to, like, give his opponents a month to, like, talk all that shit on him.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see him, like, say something in response.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I kind of want to see what he says. Because, like, that's the other thing, too. Like, not many of them have really said much about John Cena on the mic either.
Yeah.
Like, they've mentioned him, but, like, I think the only one that kind of made a dig at him was Punk, and that was really just like, I get it, you called your shot, you earned that, you've kind of earned that, right? But I'm still gonna beat the ass, just like it was like 2011 and all that. Yeah. But
imagine by Thursday we get a promo poster saying that John Cena returns on this Friday night SmackDown right before Elimination Chamber, so that is a possibility, and I hope we do, because I will expect a 3-4 minute promo of this thing, everyone from his competition.
I mean, it's been happening in the past 2 weeks. We've been doing Grappling with the Week. Something breaks in the middle of the show, so you never know.
Only time will tell then.
Freaking Rock, I swear, he better not be doing anything on Thursday. But you know what, Vash, I'm glad you mentioned something about repeating and all that, because like we had a repeat match tonight. We had a rematch for the women's IC title. We had Lyra Valkyria taking on Dakota Kai. Again, great match between the two. They have some immaculate chemistry together, and I thought this was on par with their finals during the IC title tournament. Vash, I know you had said on the sidecast that this was a little better than that match, which
yes.
I would have to go back to the match to really look at it to make that decision and all that. But yeah, this was really good. Lyra was able to pull out the win with a surprise Nightwing and all that. So yeah, you know what? Talk to me, Vash. What did you think of the match?
Look, chat. I stand by my words. I stand by my grounds. To me, this match was better than the first one. This match was a better. It was a better finals. I feel like they had a better groove comparing to their first match. They had a much better chemistry, dance partners, as the words would be said. And honestly, I believe me and Wonkus thought about at least 2 or 3 times that Dakota may have actually won the match. So we would have had 2 new champions, the tag team and the first IC champion defending, losing. Would it have been perfect for Lyra to lose, depending on the story, what's next for Lyra, because we have Ivy Nile, and also this is her first type of defenses. If she was a part of the Elimination Chamber, I'd be like, yeah, she's definitely not losing. But it would have been nice that if the tag team champion lost and Lyra lost, so we have all people with no champions going in. But also, it's nice for Lyra to also going in with her champion belt out of everyone else, so it shows that she is on top of them. She has something to have a good remark about the other competition for her. So it has its pros and cons. So I'm excited either way for what's coming next for Ivy now and Lyra and Dakota in the mid-card championship. But Adam Pierce, I don't complain about your management, for story-wise booking. But, sir, you should have done this like weeks ago. Why she defended the champion 5 weeks later after she won it? It is what it is. The weird booking. But you should have done this weeks ago, or done an IC tournament championship #1 contender. You should have done this as well, because it would have been nice for to build up other championships, other contenders. But hey, that's for another time.
Oh yeah, but not that. Sorry, everybody.
Drop!
It's been a long Monday. Let me tell you all that right now. But Drop, how'd you feel about this match? I had made a comment too before our sidecast, or I think maybe during it. I was just like, man, watch if Lyra loses, and the rant we might hear from Drop.
Yeah.
If that were to happen for her first defense. Yeah, so talk to us. What did you think of the match tonight? And I mean, I guess, with the post-match beatdown from Ivy Nile, I mean, that might be where we're heading towards next. But yeah, what did you think of everything overall?
I thought this was a great match, a lot better than the first match that they had. It felt like they actually gave them enough time to go out there and show what they're capable of. I like how Lyra's getting reactions from the crowd, especially when she did that suplex spot that really got a lot of people's attention, because she's great in the ring. So I like how we're actually seeing this now. I'm hoping it's a consistent thing. I didn't understand how things are going before. I don't think necessarily like having her sit out in the crowd was like the best way to do it. And I'm still gonna stand by what I said before about having them a part of these tournament qualifiers. I get the whole thing about having stars be a part of it, because that makes sense. We can't really it's kind of hard to argue with, but at the same time, I pitched the whole angle. If let's say hypothetically Dakota never got involved here, you could have easily had Ivy, Nile, and Bailey. Did you expect Ivy to advance? No, but you could have played into that whole story between her and Ivy Nile, where Lyra ends up getting her revenge back because Ivy eliminated her from the Royal Rumble. Then you can play into that story even further, and then we possibly could have got a match out of this. But I like how Dakota was able to show what she's capable of. I saw a couple of people online upset about it, that Dakota didn't win. The only reason why she shouldn't win is because it would be very, very bad to have Lyra defend her title for the first time and lose. Because because it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you have her?
None whatsoever.
Why would you have her defend it the first time and lose? That makes no sense at all. Like, I don't care how much people like Dakota Kai. I like Dakota Kai too, but you have that one person defend their title for the first time and lose, you should have just had Dakota win it to begin with. You should have had her have multiple defenses before you got to this. But the fact that this was her first title defense didn't really make sense for her to really win this. And then the whole thing of Ivy Nile, hopefully that gets played out again. And then you get a match between the both of them. And then Lyra eventually works past Ivy Nile. Not saying that she's going to be champion forever, but this is how you start making these titles mean something, when you put on matches and the fans actually recognize who the champion is, so they know what to expect throughout the week. I mean, this is the whole reason why we have these titles, is to help elevate people, not have them stand in the background doing this or that, because I do believe that there was people within that division, potentially, we don't know any names, that could have been saying stuff about like the booking lately. And I felt like that was pretty apparent tonight with what we got the women's wrestling. Like I mentioned earlier, with the tag match in this, was pretty apparent. Both of them had great matches when it came to those women. They did. When it came to the matches we got tonight. So I'm happy things headed down that direction. Am I surprised with the beatdown angle? No, I'm happy it happened after the match, because I kid you not, I probably would be upset if I came on here tonight and we got like some fucking DQ out of this.
Oh my God. If we had gotten a DQ finish to this one, oh boy. Oh, we'd be having a whole other different conversation about all that. But Vash, what did you think of the match?
Like I said, the match should have happened a long time ago. It is what it is. Adam Pearce booking.
Yeah.
That like you guys said it perfectly, and what we said earlier, like this is something that it's all about the booking. Honestly, like we have no problem with the ladies. We said it during the show. We said it in the sidecast. We have no problem with the ladies and the wrestling. We support them. We want them to succeed, and we like, hey, they main evented Monday Night Raw on Netflix. That to me is a huge W. We haven't had a tag team match defend for the titles, and now we have the IC champ defend her title in the second hour of the show, a 9:15. So they trusted her to continue the progressing of the show. For me, that is still a successful product. Just gotta continue improving the product to rely to the other fans. And when it comes to Lyra, we want her to do well, but actually build other stars. Like, yes, we have Ivy now. Can we get other side characters? Like we have Zoe Stark, we have Shayna Baszler. We haven't seen them in a while, because after Ivy now, I don't want to go back to Dakota Kai. Like, can we just rinse and repeat other characters? At least show them in the background, build them up slowly. That's my quick thing that I think, like. Because, for example, what happened with Chelsea Green is going from B-Fab to Mitchin and who's the other person?
I'm surprised they didn't even give B-Fab a shot yet, at least.
Exactly. Okay, look, exactly. They haven't even give B-Fab a shot. It's only been between Mitchin and who else? I'm drawing blank.
Chelsea Green? No.
Just
Yes. For contenders, it's only been Michin.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
So it just draws flash. So that's what I'm saying. For Ivy now, cool. Ivy now, you're gonna get your opportunity. You're gonna lose, but then are you gonna go back to Dakota Kai? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope we get other mid carders to actually show them potential. And for those fans, those internet wrestling community fans, shut the fuck up. Don't say that the fucking mid carders are boring. How can we fucking get to like them if we don't get to know them? Yes, you could blame Def Rebel. That's one thing you could blame, but let them perform, let them do their work, let them do what they got hired for, and put on TV. If you actually let them perform, you might be able to actually enjoy them. So let's find out, because I've been supporting Zoe Stark for the longest, but she keeps falling flat, and I want to actually see her succeed. Congrats and best of luck for Sonya Deville, or her new name, I forgot, I can't remember on the top of my head, but I just want the mid-carders to succeed. My apologies for this long rant, but I just kept going on, and I just felt like I just had to express it real quick.
Honestly, just do vignettes like they did with SmackDown, what they did with Zelina.
With Zelina Vega, yes!
They did that one for her, they did one
that was fine.
They did one with Alexa Bliss, just to reintroduce her, just in case people forgot about her, which I don't know how you do, but do the same thing with Zoe Stark or Shayna Baszler. because now that
Yeah.
they're separate from Shayna, because Shayna and not Shayna, Sonya ended up getting released. You know, try to rebuild them, do these vignettes. Best way they could really do it.
Agree.
Hub of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many they could be choosing from, but hey, whatever. Well, hopefully Ivy Nile gets her shot against Lyra.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. You know, hopefully before Master Gable comes back from his little stint of learning how to defeat a luchador and all that.
Yeah.
So
maybe it'll help get Rey Fenix out.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's like on a secret mission to save Rey Fenix from the fiery pits of hell.
Yeah.
From wait, what did they call it? What is it? Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the internet can be fun sometimes, but you know, as fun as it is to be a luchador, there's only one luchador we can pay attention to at this moment while Rey Mysterio's injured and as Dragon Lee continues to try to up his stock. We had Penta taking on Butch. Yeah, Butch. I'm calling him Butch.
Yeah.
Because he's a heel and he's being a jerk. So yeah, you're still being Butch right now. But not Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser, disguised as a triple threat, kind of more of a handicap match at a lot of points, but more like a reluctant handicap match. But Penta's able to pick up the win. Oh no, sorry, excuse me. No, I apologize.
Ooh.
Penta almost picked up the win. We almost thought he was gonna win, but no. Kaiser comes in, yeets him out of the ring, hits his finisher, pins Pete Dunne, and picks up the huge victory. I thought this was a great opening match to start the night off. More of just like this is one of those triple threats that like there's not much at stake besides pride and all that. Which I mean, sometimes you can have a match like that, and especially with this one, like the three guys knew how to very much knew how they wanted to orchestrate this match in a way that made you feel like, okay, Penta, he's kind of a few leagues above these mid-carders, but the fact that somebody like Ludwig Kaiser was able to outsmart him a bit shows that he still has some stuff to learn here in WWE. But yeah, man, I thought this match was really good. Like, yeah, it was just a really good match, you know? And I'm assuming we're going to be leading towards another singles match between Penta and Kaiser. Because, like, well, no. Yeah, they've had a singles match before, I think. If memory serves right.
I think so. They did.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll have another singles match, and Penta will probably go over, and it'll be great. Just again, keep building his stock, keep that forward momentum going. But yeah, what did you guys think of this part? Vash, I'll start with you with this one. How did you think of this match and just like how Penta is being built up in the company?
Yeah.
Look, cero miedo, zero fear. You gotta be all about Penta, and he continues building his stock. Such a good match. Like Walker's brought up, we had an intense match that felt like a handicap match of 2 versus 1, and Penta still was almost out on top. He was about to take the W, but then Ludwig, showing that he's the sneaky villain-like type of character heel, and he took the upset. He took the W, and I love how Penta is being supported with Butch, as who's been the producer in tag teams and a few other matches. And I did call him on the sidecast. I call him Christian Bate, and I totally butchered that name. It was Tyler Bate. So I want to give credit to myself where I totally messed up, and it was hilarious because it was Tyler Bate. And I'm still expecting Tyler Bate to be coming back soon
Yeah.
to maybe build off where Pete Dunne is, changing the character. He's not the same person he is, and maybe we might get a Butch versus Tyler Bate at WrestleMania, depending on the build up or depending on the rivalry as well. So that's a possibility. But right now for Ludwig, I'm glad he took the W. I did finish the interview with Chris Van Violet because I'll be talking about it on the Grappling of the Week, because it was a good interview, and to hear Ludwig talk about his growth and what he is ambitious and what he's been doing so far. So I'm glad for him.
Yeah, I'm just happy for the forward momentum. But Job, what about you? What did you think of this match?
I thought this was a really good match between the both of them. Probably one of my favorite spots is probably the Mexican Destroyer over, I think it was, I don't know if it was over Butch or Kaiser during the match. I thought that was really good. That was like a really nice spot. And I'm also glad that Penta was protected in this match. He didn't get the pin. I believe it was Butch that ended up getting the pin within this match. So it's good that he's still safe, and they obviously had big plans for him. And I also like how he's not, again, involved in this LWO stuff that's going on with New Day, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I'm kind of wondering, like, what are we getting out of this, really? Like, what's the end game? That's where I'm wondering. Like, I don't mind seeing these matches. I'm just wondering, like, what's the end game for this?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you would think we're building to him and Braun for the IC title, because I mean, we had the stare down, like, what was this, like a couple weeks ago or like a month ago or something. So I mean, we had that little tease there. That's the only thing I can assume we're going towards. But I mean, whether or not that's at Mania or anything, I mean, I had made the comment too, like, there might be a possibility we might get a multi-man thing for Mania for that IC championship. Because I mean, like, we'll talk about that match coming up here, but like there are multiple people that seem to be eyeing Braun Breaker right now. So yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. But like, I mentioned something about it. Like, forget it. Let's kind of dive right into our next match with that. We had dirty ass Dominic Mysterio taking on Braun Breaker. Now, this was set up because last week he got speared and all that, and we did have a backstage segment with Finn and Dom kind of arguing back and forth about how they're really not on the same page. And Dom yet again mentioned, oh, maybe we need a new member, and Finn just automatically shooting that down. Do you guys think we're actually going to get another member of the Judgment Day, or is it just going to be one of those things where it's just like, oh, we should do it, but we're not going to, and just end up breaking the group up like that? Like, what do y'all think is happening with all this? Job, I'll start with you with this one.
I feel like we are, because I feel like they wouldn't keep bringing it up if something wasn't gonna come out of it eventually. My question is, it's like, does it really make sense? And the only reason why I say this is, I mean, look at where the Judgment Day is right now. Like, you would think realistically, if another member was inserted, that would be a way to elevate that group again. And it's kind of hard for me to accept that, only because, they keep going back and forth with the Judgment Day when it comes to the fights, when it comes to the current position that they're in. Like, sure, Liv and Raquel recently won the titles, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really do anything to really upgrade the Judgment Day outside of, oh, hey, Liv and Raquel got titles now. So it's like, I don't really know how to take it. Like, is this potential new member gonna be Finn's WrestleMania opponent?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, because I know a lot of people are speculating Dom and Finn, which could work because there is story there, but at the same time, they've been building this new member thing for quite some time now, and I have a feeling I know who it is, and I don't know if I necessarily want that, just because of the overall direction with the Judgment Day. Like, if you are going to add a new member, you need a complete rework of that entire group. I'm sorry. You need to like
Yeah.
really switch shit around because it's really hard for me to be like, yeah, this guy's going to be put in there with how the Judgment Day is right now. Like, you really need to have somebody, honestly, just resetting the whole entire fucking thing. You probably know
like
who I'm referring to who could possibly be in this.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
that's why I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really make sense. His wife's on SmackDown, but
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I really don't know who it could be.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, unless it's not him and another person that left that company, like, I mean, a certain maybe Redeemer or something. I don't know.
That'd be fucking interesting. I'll
yeah,
tell you that.
Yeah, see, that would be kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. That would be kind of an interesting dynamic.
When if I ever saw him pop up in the screen, I start cracking up like Judgment Day Miro.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, fine, but like, I feel like he could probably pull out like a character like that anyway. But it's just like, you know, just at the start of it, just like, oh, this is kind of funny.
I also like how shout out to him, by the way, because I know he's trying to get into ring shape again. He recently started doing, I think he recently had a match with Alberto over the weekend. So shout out to him. I mean, if he ends up being the member, that's pretty interesting. I mean, the way the Redeemer did promos and AEW, that could actually probably work with that kind of character. But
yeah. But what about you, Vash? What did you think of this? Well, I guess this backstage segment first with like Finn and Dom leading into the match.
I'm not saying that I'm not excited for it. I'm just curious to see where's the end results. I like what Job said earlier, that we will be getting a match for Finn and somebody else, like, you know, Finn and maybe Braun Breaker. You know what we had. It was a beautiful moment. The way Braun Breaker, you know, turned to the side and you know, Finn back up with a chair. That was a beautiful moment. And we might have, I think Watkins brought up another one. It was Finn versus AJ versus Braun Breaker in the for the IC title match. Great option too. But when it comes to Finn and Dom right now, it's kind of I'm a mixed fruit. So like, it says I'm interested, but then it falls flat a couple minutes later when Finn just acts all chummy with Dom in the backstage walking towards the match, and it just falls flat.
Yeah, that's just my whole issue with it. I just don't know how you can take this new member thing seriously just because of where they are right now.
Yeah, but we don't have to worry about a new member because they got to take out Braun Breaker now because he has a match with Dom, who, I mean, he pretty much dominates throughout. And, you know, you get your typical Judgment Day shenanigans outside, which leads to a disqualification in the match.
Their bloodline
and Braun ends up destroying Carlito and Dom. Him and Finn have a very intense stare down when Finn tries to get into the ring with that chair. And then he just backs away and all that. But I mean, again, like, are we setting up for a multi-man thing then? Because like we had Braun with the stuff with AJ. Now we're throwing Finn into all this. There's a Penta who had the seeds planted like almost a month ago. So I mean, are we if it is a multi-man thing, is it just gonna be a regular multi-man thing, or is it gonna be like a you know, dare I say the WrestleMania ladder match or anything? Like what? Like I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of leaning towards the multi-man thing. It's just I don't know what pieces are gonna be in there.
Yeah, like my only issue with the multi-man thing is I hope it's not a reoccurring theme with a lot of these Mania matches, because if it happens with maybe a couple of them, okay, but it almost seems like that's been like a common trend with Mania based on what we've been seeing so far of these rumors that we don't even know what's happening yet, but it's almost like it's heading down that direction with some of them. I mean, I would personally like to see just a one-on-one with Braun and AJ if they go down that direction, or Braun and Penta. I don't know. I don't really
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah. And I mean that seems to be the Mania build in a nutshell. So hopefully, again, like we said earlier, hopefully this weekend kind of
Yeah.
helps us
We get into
understand the
overdrive.
road. Yeah,
Well,
hopefully we'll see. But
eating
I don't know.
zero.
I don't have much more to say
No.
beyond what we've already said. So,
Nope.
moving on now, we had the New Day in tag team action, our freshly healed New Day taking on the LWO, but not only just the LWO. Oh no, it's two people we haven't really seen wrestle on Raw in quite some time, in Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and ignorant children of the Isles, I actually remembered their names for
Yeah,
once.
we did.
Like,
We remember their names.
like
During stream, we learned them. We
during
we
stream too.
we figure out how to differentiate them between their clothes, and that's how we remember the green hair on the green theme and pants. That gives Del Toro is his name.
There you go. Yep, Del
Yeah.
Toro wear the pants in the relationship. Ah man, but yeah, they had a great match. I think LWO really stood out as they needed to, because again, these two guys aren't really wrestling on the main shows.
Yeah.
I think they're doing a bunch of like main event stuff and all that. So like they had a really good match, but New Day being freshly heels and kind of being on a higher level than the LWO, they end up pulling out the win, do a post match beatdown, and Dragon Lee tries to make the save, but it's 1 against 2. You kind of know where that's gonna go. Yeah, again, I thought the match was fine. It's just I don't know. I still don't know about the LWO right now. And I mean, New Day, like with their heel turn, like I get their shtick and all that. I'm ready for some forward momentum when it comes to the New Day and what they'll be doing and all that. What do you guys think of the match? And I guess whatever they decide to be doing with the New Day, like what do you guys think of it?
Hey, Job, go first.
So, I mean, I thought the match was all right. I mean, it almost seems like New Day is really trying to go through the LWO at this
Mhm.
point. So, and part of me is thinking, is this their direction for Mania, like feud of LWO or something? Because I was sort of
Yeah.
expecting them to be in some sort of like tag title picture or whatever. But I mean, one of the things I guess I could say that I do appreciate that I've been wanting to see is Dragon Lee consistently on television. That's
Yes.
something I can say that I am happy to see. I'm hoping something comes out of it. I'm hoping we get a better direction instead of like match after match. Like
Mhm.
I'm hoping there's like something more with this New Day stuff because it has a lot of potential to really go somewhere, and it just seems like there really isn't any sort of direction for them right now. And it's I hate
Yeah.
to say that, but there could have been a lot more to come out of this.
Yeah, there could have been a lot more to come out of this. But
Yeah.
what about you, Vash? What do you think of this match?
Look, I said one of the most positive thing. Walking Wild was amazing. He was truly something that me and Watkins was truly impressed. We even said it during the show that like, hey, we actually took the time to remember who was Del Toro, who was Walking Wild, and the Pat McAfee even said it during the show that they're called the New Day because they are different versions of themselves, and New Day sucks. But the match
Yeah.
was entertaining. The match was good, solid. I thought LWO would be getting their win. Dragon Lee came out to defend and help because Rey Mysterio's gone, so Dragon Lee has to put in some work hours. So it was enjoyable in that aspect at least. But can he actually come back and do more? Only
Yeah.
time will tell.
Yeah. Yeah, only time will tell with all that. Yeah, I'm just curious what the direction is with the New Day and all that, and like I don't know. I'm curious what they're gonna be doing at Mania, and again, hopefully we get some of these answers after this weekend.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much else to say with it. I mean, again, like that,
No.
not really a lot to kind of just like digest with it. I mean, it's a very simple, straightforward thing that they're doing with the New Day right now. So, all right,
Yeah,
cool,
and
neat.
they're building up other mid carders with the New Day while
Hmm.
this run is going as heels. The other BO, hopefully they get a win next time around. And Joaquin Wild, continue being a good leader and continue doing what you got to do because you've been nice to see you, even though I haven't seen you. You know, Dragon Lee, continue doing your thing.
Yeah,
I love to see you. Like,
yeah.
please, every single Friday. I mean, well, Friday, every single Monday. And drop. I said a great idea during the sidecast. How would it be Dragon Lee versus Penta?
You could potentially see that. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, right? That match will cook.
Yeah, you just gotta get us there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, get it. Triple H, find a way to get us there. That would be amazing. Oh man, but hey, we're gonna finish off our night with some quick fire segments. We had a couple here going on. We had Rhea Ripley with a short interview. She's, as much as she should be looking at the Elimination Chamber, she's more focused on defeating Iyo Sky next week, which apparently she's never beaten Iyo before. So that's
Yeah.
that's a nice little wrinkle that we're doing there. And I'm glad she also referenced too, like 5 years ago, that match that her, Iyo, and Charlotte had for the NXT Women's title, because I mean that was a really good match. I mean, I remember Iyo picking up the win in that because that's how they
Yeah.
got the title off Charlotte at the time. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Iyo
true.
basically comes out and vows to beat Rhea. So basically, just a short build for the match. Any comment anybody has to make, or like, because I know we've been kind of talking about like, oh, this might just be a way for Iyo to get into this match at
Yeah.
Mania because we're gonna DQ finish or do something along the lines to justify her being in the match. But yeah, do we have any comments about this build this week?
I'm just hoping we get a good match out of it. Hopefully, not that many
Mhm.
shenanigans play out of this.
Yeah.
And I would have to say, like, out of all of the matches that we are getting during the Mania season, I feel like if this were to turn into a triple threat, that'd be the only one I would be okay with.
Hmm.
Because I guess then, in a way, you could actually prolong that Rhea and Bianca feud when the time comes to actually give them a full-fledged build. So at least if you throw Iyo in there, you could have some
Yeah.
fun with it. Give us a little appetizer before we get the actual thing. But I'm just
Yep.
hoping not that many shenanigans play out of this because that's the thing I hate sometimes. It's like you get these matches to look forward to, and then shit just randomly fucking goes a whole crazy spiral for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, for no reason at all. Just a spiral
And
to spiral. But I know we're far away from booking like that. But I mean,
yeah,
the PTSD is still there. Like
yeah,
that's why we keep mentioning things like, oh, let's not do this again. It's because some of us do legitimately have like some sort of PTSD, being like, no, I don't want to go through that kind of anger again or that kind
yeah.
of sadness again. It's just you can only get through it but so much and all that. But Vash, do you have anything to say about Rhea's little interview here?
Drop said it perfectly. The only thing I'm gonna add is the production side. It seems like Raw Netflix really likes to do these shoots of interviews within the crowd behind like a certain point of view to still show the ring. So I've noticed that in the production side they like to do that. I wonder what is it that they get out of this? Is it the camera shots or is it the people in the background? Because it gets awkward when you have Rhea and then you have, I believe it was Jackie in the middle, and then you have Iyo Sky doing their promo, but then you have Jackie in an awkward position where she cannot fade away, and then once Iyo gets closer, she's slides out. But this is not the first time this happened. This happened the second or third time, where the last time it was, I believe, Seth and Finn, and where Jackie was also in the middle in that little segment, and it looked awkward where she was trying to kind of segue out where the main camera type of focus could be on these two, but it didn't happen. So those other little small things I noticed in the production side. Just want to give my quick perspective of that. What Job said earlier, I agree 100%. So I don't need to add any more.
Word.
Yeah.
Thank you for the production talk as always, Vash. And of course, our other quick fire segment. Sami Zayn had a bit of a sit down interview, and he's basically saying that he's kind of losing himself. You know, he had stopped by Kevin Owens' house. Nobody else was there, but apparently he saw Kevin's mom there and all that. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like he mentions how, yeah, they've been through this song and dance before, but they've never really involved their own families. So I guess it just adds a little extra bit of personality to it. And yeah, again, Sammy is basically telling everybody that he is going to hurt Kevin Owens, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, I like this to a point, but I also hope that we're not really, hyping up something that's not going to live up to it. Now, I say that, but I do believe that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn they'll show out for this kind of
They will.
event and
Oh yeah.
and this match and all that. So I am looking forward to it and all that. But any thoughts that you guys had about this quick little sit down interview?
I would say for me at the moment, I don't have much thoughts because I know we're gonna see a longer version of this or see another rehash on Sunday. Oh, so Sunday. My apologies. On Friday SmackDown and on Saturday for Elimination Chamber because I know we have a other person doing a few interviews like these, and they'll be repeated shown to us on Saturday. So I don't have too much thoughts other than Sammy. Go crazy, go bonkers. I want it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this
Yeah.
match, honestly. Like, I feel like out of all the matches coming out of the weekend, I feel like this is probably going to be the show stealer. Because,
By far.
I mean, you look at the match he recently had with Cody, so, I mean, KO has a pretty good track record when it comes to putting on good matches. Same with Sami Zayn, and you put both of them in the ring together, considering how well they've known each other, and also considering what we've seen from them before in the past. I'm expecting it to be a show stealer. Definitely.
Oh, same here.
Same.
Yeah. Plus, they're in Toronto. This is basically those two's WrestleMania. Like this is basically their time to just have a lot of fun, have a ball, and just try
It should
to
be the
just
main event, right?
murderize each other. I mean, I doubt it will be. I doubt it'll
With
be
that
the main
angle,
event.
Yeah, with that angle with Rock, I feel like they
Yeah.
probably want to save that to close the show with the men's chamber.
Mhm.
We could be wrong, but
Yeah.
it's definitely, I would say, co-main event. I could see.
Yeah, I could see it being there too. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, that was Raw. It was a good show. I had a lot of fun with it. Like Vash said, we were talking a lot during it, but like it was stuff that had to do with the show, and I know I wasn't really bored with it. Vash wasn't really bored with it. Drop, I don't think you seemed bored with it either, but it was a good show overall, I thought. And yeah, hopefully by next week we have a better footing when it comes to walking down this road to WrestleMania. But Vash, what do you think of the show overall?
Look, chat, it's a long night. I'm gonna keep it simple. If you already saw the time codes in the description below, you read our thoughts, and you're here for the overall thoughts, you don't need me to repeat myself. I already said throughout some of the segments that I agree with Drop, I agree with Walkers down below. Some of the stuff that we're on the same page and similar page. And if you heard my rant earlier, let me know what you guys thought about it. Other than that, I really continue want to see the mid-carders and the woman booking improve. And please, WWE, give your employees their benefits, their perks. Do not take that away. We saw the reports about that. I know we will talk about it again this coming Thursday. And continue liking the video, guys. Comment down below any of the conversation that we have said. Every time that we're live, if we miss a a question, we'll always read it out during this part of the segment if there are any questions. But right now, since you guys aren't yet, we will always wait until the future comes.
Yep. Drop, what do you think of the Monday Night Raw overall tonight?
I thought it was a good show. I liked how there was focus on the women's division tonight. That was probably one of the takeaway moments for me when it comes to the two matches. I liked, again, what they're doing with Penta, Butch, and Kaiser. I like the direction that's going on with them. I liked the moment that we had with Cody and Seth within the show itself. So I liked what they did with certain people was pushed very well when it came to matches and certain storylines.
Yeah. All right, cool. Perfect. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, that was Monday Night Raw, hosted, of course, by your Weebs of the Ring to give you a nice little fun, chill post show and all that. We all had fun, had some good talks, had some nice interactions tonight, and yeah, overall, we're just here having a good time. We're in the road to WrestleMania. We got another stopgap here with the Elimination Chamber. And we got plenty of coverage coming up this week. We got Grappling with the Week on Thursday, where we're going to be talking about the card of Elimination Chamber, kind of talk about each match, the build, our predictions, all that good fun stuff. So be sure to tune into that. We'll be starting around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so be sure to check it out. And if you miss it, hey, the VOD will be up later up on YouTube. But the only way you can catch that is if you subscribe to the channel, hit all those notification icons and all that stuff, so that way you get a nice little pop-up thing that says, hey, we're live talking about this. And it's like, oh, great, I'll check them out too. So, and beyond Grappling with the Week, we'll have SmackDown going on. I think during our sidecast tonight, me and Vash have decided to do a sidecast for Elimination Chamber. So be sure to check that out on Twitch. We're gonna try to go live around 6:30 that night.
And we have also Vani as well. We have a special guest, Vani, that will be joining us.
Yep, we'll have Vani on there to react as well to the show. Whether or not he makes it to the post show, hey, you'll have to tune in to find out, because we'll have the post show immediately following after. Well, not immediately, but that's besides the point. We'll be on after Elimination Chamber to kind of break it down and all that stuff. But if you guys don't want to hear us talking about wrestling and all that stuff, we have other links too to other projects that we hold dear to ourselves. Me and Drop have our own solo stuff that we do. We also have Animal We Studios, the main channel that has many plethoras of things, such as anime reactions going up. You got Off the Binge that's talking about the anime seasons that are going on. We have the Anime Lately podcast that have episodes coming out we might be changing the schedule with that, but you'll have to stay tuned for that. So you'll have to check out those links in the description below. And also, you see that little yellow area that's right underneath? Well, I guess I'm kind of sitting on it too. Those are our handles on our social medias where you can follow us and talk to us about whatever you want to. Give us some feedback too about how the show goes, how the production goes. We got hashtag Weebs of the Ring too you could use to interact with us. We have so many ways that you could talk with us and just have a good time and all that, because hey, we love to have good times with all. So yeah, be sure to do all that wonderful stuff, all that stuff. And on that note, I'm going to take some time to just thank you. That's right, you right out there. I'm looking at you, Carl. You took time out of your hard-working day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. But again, if you enjoyed what we had to say, do everything that I just rambled on about. All those subscriptions, all those likes, all those fun interactions. Be sure to do all of that, so that way you can have a good old time. And of course, use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring. Interact with us before, during, or after these shows. Feedback is always appreciated, as we are nothing without you guys tuning in. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anime We Studios. Thank you to our production team for all the hard work you guys put in every single day of the week. Thank you once again for tuning in. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you on Thursday.
See you guys.